Alright, good afternoon YouTube. Welcome to Ferret Face Bell Productions or Maker Extreme. I don't know which channel this is going to end up on. But, so we're going to do a quick little review slash maybe even range tests, kind of sort of, with the Serpent. So Throne Serpent's kind of new to the game. There's only a handful of videos out there, which are better than others, let's just say. And we want to do a little bit of a ride. So I'm a dealer for Serpent out in Monument, Colorado. We got a bunch of them in, decided we were going to take one out to do a pseudo ride slash range test. And Miss Vanessa here, she is kind of sort of like in the camera sort of ish. We might just use the audio from this. That's fine. But so everything that you're watching footage-wise is going to be from Vanessa's camera, though, because my camera ended up not working and other technical issues. So all the riding that you're seeing is Vanessa, which is probably better riding than mine most of the time. Because, yeah, I generally, when I'm actually recording, will dump my bike and stuff. But so far, the Throne Serpent is kind of a cool outlier. I know some people have watched Silronster's video and were kind of like meh, but I really like the Throne Serpent because it's more of a dirt bike than the other brands. In fact, right away, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Throne Serpent has a better frame, better weight, and overall just better dimensions for doing dirt biking and trail riding than the E-Ride Pro, than the Sur-Ron, than the Tellurian. Specs on a sheet and riding on the road isn't everything that people do with these, so we actually dirt bike. And today we were out at Vibe, Colorado, 717 trail. Those that live in Colorado know. Those that don't, you should come out here and ride it. Maybe not. Don't come to Colorado.
Don't
come to Colorado. We don't like it. Yeah, kind of there too. So we'll start out with. What did you think, Vanessa?
So, my first thing is I definitely liked it better than the right Pro. It felt more stable going over things. And I wish I had a little bit more power because there was times where I was like, just go already. But like going over the whoops and stuff was actually pretty surprising because it wasn't horrible, but whoops are not my favorite.
There you go. Yeah, that's actually kind of a good point. Is I did ride it a little bit. I didn't ride it a whole lot. Is that I do like the KKE suspension on it. I think the forks in the rear shock are a lot better than the E-Ride Pro's stock stuff. You know, personal opinion. Suspension stuff is always opinionated. Everybody can complain about whatever brand they want to at this point. But this, you know, they seem to be really well dampened and going over stuff. It felt pretty compliant. I was pretty content with it too, and I weigh probably about 100 pounds more than Vanessa. You know, time to lose some weight. But yeah, that's true. And it still felt good. It felt like a good suspension, and I was pushing it pretty hard through some stuff. You know, it's not as nice as the KYBs on like my Riehu and stuff, but this is also not a $10,000, $11,000 bike. So I don't expect you know, miracles with the suspension. What about power? What did you think about power?
I was wondering what was happening there.
Just a little more power.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention. I zoned out. I'm trying to drive right now, so you know.
There was times where I just wish I had more, and I was on a higher age the other two settings just were not bad at all.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I did rock it high the entire time too. That being fair to the other brands, I do rock the E-Ride Pro in sport mode, because the E-Ride Pro I think sucks because like eco's not enough, but then sport mode's like too much. Is that right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So this one actually has at least an intermediary, and I would say like the daily mode, if you're just doing like light, flatter type trails, it's probably fine. Like, you know, that could be good for a newer rider, somebody who's not real comfortable and it's a little bit easier stuff. I would say the sport mode off the line is pretty torquey. It's just, it does taper off, I think, a little bit too much. I think they need to up the continuous power a little bit more. Not asking for a ton, because it did do some pretty awesome hill climbs, which I'll throw in here. Vanessa did it first, and
After he said no.
after I told her no, every time I'm like, nah, don't do that, you're gonna wreck the bike, she just goes and does it. So that's fine, whatever. It's I think half the time I do that just to see what happens next. And I also took it up the same hill climb too, so that was pretty sweet. That was I don't know, I mean, it's not the craziest hill climb in the world, but I would say the vast majority of like e-moto riders, it's not something they would do, right?
Yeah, I was a little hesitant to take it up because I was like, I don't know if this bike can do it.
Yeah, I was a little hesitant too, because it's a new bike and we don't exactly know. It feels like it would have the power, and it did just fine. So
yeah, I was going up the hill, and I didn't feel like the power was taking off. It held up the whole hill, and it was fine.
Yeah, that was good. I really didn't have I think coming down the hill was worse.
It needs bigger tires.
Yeah, that's my next actually gripe that I'll talk about. And this isn't just Throne or Serpent or whoever. It's kind of everybody. Is that the stock mountain bike tire thing needs to die. Like, make your mind up. Either the bike comes with like supermoto type tires, or it comes with dirt tires. Like this in between sucks, because these tires, they don't do very well out here. We have out in divides very like pea gravelly, sandy type riding. And it's just this is one thing that I haven't talked much about RAR on my channel, and I won't get there. But the one thing I really like about RAR Mantis is that they come with really quite good dirt tires from the get-go that are still usable on the street if you're one of those weirdos. So something like that needs to come with the Serpent, because the Serpent, really, its market's going to be, I think, a little bit more trail-oriented people, a little bit more dirt riding type stuff. I'll definitely be pushing that in my shop for sure. Let's see, we talked a little bit about power, suspension.
It went up rocks today.
Yeah, I did go up rocks, yeah. Weight? Let's talk about weight, like felt weight, not like the actual number. What do you think?
I think it was all which is so through the cars, it was just easy to
Yeah, I would agree. I like that it weighs a little bit more than the Talaria and the E-Ride Pro, especially, because I've been on that E-Ride Pro a lot, because I rode that a fair bit out in Tennessee because somebody wouldn't let me ride the Arctic Leopard until I needed to. Anyways.
I think it was just the center of gravity was down lower than in the cars, which was nice.
Yeah, that could be a good point too. It did feel better balanced, and the weight seemed to carry over objects pretty well. And there was no regen either, so that kind of helped maybe a little bit. There's very little drag on the motor with this bike, so when you let off the throttle, there's no perceived engine braking. At least unless you thought something different. Yeah, it just flew down the hills. So, and I both like and don't like that. I would like to be able to adjust it. I would like to be able to say, hey, I want this much regen, or have a switch or something, kind of like the E-Ride Pro does. That would be nice, because there are times down steep, long hills that can really save the brakes with some regen.
I was squealing big time.
Yeah, the brakes were squealing. I'm not sure if that's a how we put it together thing, or if I don't know. I'm not going to blame the bike on that one yet. The brakes felt pretty good. I think I like the brakes way better than the E-Ride Pro's brakes, because I've overheated the E-Ride Pro's brakes. These while they were a little bit noisy, did get the job done.
Yeah, it was just loud. That's my only complaint here about.
Yeah. So, and the note about the brakes on the Serpent is that they are DOT4 fluid. They're not mineral oil. They also use real braided brake lines instead of the tiny mountain bike brake lines that suck and get chopped in the wheel. # E-Ride Pro. I probably shouldn't talk too much shit about brands I sell, but I'm all about competition in the space. And ultimately, we only win if people buy stuff. So I'm not going to baby or favor one brand or the other. But there are some cool things that Serpent's doing that I like to see as far as quality goes. For the record here too, Serpent does sell for about $5,000 retail right now. So almost the same price as the E-Ride Pro. On paper, it looks like the power is less, and the felt power is definitely less than the E-Ride Pro. The thing is, I guess it really just depends on where I want the power. The E-Ride Pro feels like it just has more top-end power. I don't think the down-low power is any different from either one. You can definitely pick the front wheel up on either. Overall design and aesthetic? What do you think about that?
I think it's good.
You think it's better looking than like the Teleria or the Sur-Ron?
Yeah, it's definitely different. The way the seat was, it was actually kind of nice because it kind of goes out a little bit, so I wasn't sliding forward on the seat. I was able to hold my weight back. And so just being all over the place.
Yeah, I like the seat too. In fact, that ergonomics wise, yeah, I do like the seat. It wasn't super comfortable or anything, but like it felt more like a traditional dirt bike seat.
I didn't sit much, so I stand.
Yeah, she likes to stand. I'm a lazy fat bastard, so.
So the seat didn't bother me comfort-wise, but it was nice having that extra grip, I guess, when I was standing, so I wasn't sliding all over.
Yeah, I can get on board with that. And then I think ergonomically, like where the handlebars sit, where your feet sit on the pegs, it feels a lot more like a dirt bike. You're not as curled up as the E-Ride Pro.
Yeah, and I thought the pegs were going to be weird because they're kind of small, but with my baby feet, it works just fine.
Yeah, I actually didn't really have a lot of complaints about the pegs either. They seemed to, they weren't anything special, but I didn't slip or fall off the pegs or anything. So.
Well, when I looked at them, I was like, oh boy, I don't like those pegs, but I didn't actually notice a difference. They were fine.
Yeah, it worked well enough. I'd like to see, of course, aftermarket accessories with all these bikes. But I think people sometimes get a little bit too wrapped up in the little things. But it's probably kind of a different conversation. Range, too. Let's talk about range a little bit because it surprised the hell out of me. Today we got there and the guy, I don't know his name because I'm terrible with people and I don't like people very much anyway. But I think he told us it was going to be, 32 miles? 33 miles? 33 miles, okay, yeah. Anyways, so that was going to be the 33 miles of GPS tracked loop was what we're going to be doing of 717. And I was like, I'm really not sure if this thing's going to make it because the battery size on the Serpent is a 72 volt, 40 amp hour. The battery itself says 38.4 amp hour, more or less the same. I don't think that's worth complaining about. But what I will say is that we made the entire loop, which on my Riehu showed actually rolling a little over 34 miles. So she made it back, and you still had what,
32%, and I was in high the whole time.
Yeah. So she made it the 34 miles, 33 miles GPS tracked, and still had 33% left. 32, because I can't pay attention. Shit. I told you I'm not good at this either. So, like, that's pretty awesome. In fact, and the caveat to this is I did ride it a little bit, but not very much. I probably only rode it for, a few miles?
A mile? Well, maybe 2.
Yeah, probably only like 2-3 miles tops is probably what I was on it for. She was riding my Riehu, which that was kind of comical to watch. Vanessa here, she's 5'2".
Yes.
So she is somewhat small, and seeing her get on a 38.5-inch seat height bike was both impressive and entertaining. But she rode it quite well. In fact, she was riding faster on the Riehu initially, and then I think she got a little bit more confidence after you got back on the Serpent. So, but with my time on it, I kind of was blazing pretty hard on it, so I thought I did kind of use more power than I intended to, but she got back on it. So Vanessa weighing right around 120 pounds with gear, she made it very easily 33, 34 miles, depending on how you look at it. That's way more impressive than I thought it was going to be. And with our track record of riding the Raw Mantis and some of these other bikes, I was impressed. It went further than I thought it was going to do. I'd have to do one with my fat self on it the entire time, but yeah. So range, I wouldn't really worry about it. If you're riding on the street and you're kind of messing around a little bit, you're probably going to see similar numbers. We were riding faster, but we were doing hills, up, down hills. There's no regen on the bike, so there's nothing helping it out. I think overall, a good base number for this bike is going to be 30 to 40 miles of range. So that's pretty acceptable. It definitely fits about what its battery size is. So I see no complaints there. Now, if you're looking to buy a Throne Serpent, Y Serpent over, Teleria or the other brands or whatever else, the truth of the matter is, and being a dealer, don't rat me out here, but you're probably going to get a better deal in person with your dealer on a Serpent. It's just how that's going to go. Also, color options. The Serpent's really sweet because you can get all kinds of fun color options. Green, red, concrete, which I still don't exactly understand. White. What are they calling? Is that it? Like, yeah, I guess that's the red. I don't. I guess
orange. Not orange. I think it's red. It's
yeah.
Orange. Red, green, yellow, gray, and black.
Yeah, which is cool. Oh yeah, I mean, everybody likes black, but that's one thing I really like about the brand is that they're doing the different colors. I think that does appeal to people. Also, build quality, I think, is another thing you should look at. I think the build quality is better than other brands.
It felt sturdy.
It did, yeah. It felt sturdy. It definitely weighs a little bit more, but that's not always a bad thing. I feel like, nothing was rattling or shaking loose or coming apart. The weirdest thing I think we had was the front brake line, right?
Yeah, and I just
yeah, and that fixed the whole issue. So yeah, there was a lot of things that we really liked about riding the Serpent today that I think impressed me. I really liked it since I first sat on one. I wanted something that's smaller, but also offers a good dirt experience. And I just really wasn't happy with the E-Ride Pro in the dirt, and I wasn't super happy with some of the other brands that we've had. The Light BX and some of the others. They're just not dirt bikes. They don't feel like dirt bikes. This one can feel, I think, a little bit more like a light-duty trail bike. In fact, in really gnarly single track, it might even feel better because of how small it is. But yeah, and of course today I was riding a big 302 stroke. In comparison, it feels like a tank. So yeah, going back and forth a little bit was like, holy shit, dude! Like this thing is huge. Is it really that big? That's how it feels when I get on a real dirt bike anymore. Is because I'm used to riding the Arctic Leopard and these other E-motos, and traditional two-stroke now feels kind of massive. So, but that's a little bit of what we do. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a little bit longer-winded, but I wanted to go into detail because there are no good videos on Serpent right now on YouTube. So Vanessa and I wanted to go out, do a range test, do some riding. Hopefully you've enjoyed her riding. I'm sure we've got your fall in here somewhere. I'll pick that out. Vanessa crashed it like 5 minutes into riding, so.
That was my only glimpse.
But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments below. And we're going to have more videos on the Serpent. We'll probably do a walk-around video as well. I might try to put that up first, but I'm lazy as hell, so we'll see. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.